Hello, hey guys, how are we? I thought I'd do a quick live on, disregard my voice. My voice is a bit croaky from the other night. Thought I'd do a quick live just on BTC and Ethereum price updates. So I've had a lot of messages, people asking me, what's going on? We've had a 20% drop, blah blah blah. People are freaking out. So just want to clarify, guys. Price has just gone absolutely spastic in the last few months, and it's well due for a pullback. So don't stress out. What we're going to be looking at is top-down approach. Okay, so generally when you're looking at a new chart, you want to be going from top down. When I say top down, I mean highest time frame. So like a monthly chart down to weekly, down to daily, so on and so forth. And we find out easy to trade, easy support and resistance levels around there. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to check if this is working. Yep, seems to be working. So I'll just continue on. If you've got any comments, guys, chuck them in the chat. I'll upload this to YouTube afterwards, so don't stress out. So what we're going to do is this is a new fresh chart, BTC USD, using the Binance chart at the moment. So as you can see, I'm on the monthly chart. So this is on tradingview.com. You can make a free account on tradingview.com and you can do charting as well. Okay. If you want to add this chart to your machine, up the top right hand corner here, click on this, just type in BTC USDT, and you can add the chart. Okay. So this is the one we're on at the moment, Bitcoin Tether. And you can see from a monthly perspective, we're massively bullish. Okay, so we've got, these are all upwards moving candles. So these are accelerating as well. So you can see here. So this is a monthly trend. Okay, so down here, the only other tool, if you're very new to trading, the other tool you want to use that's very useful is RSI, which is basically in layman's terms overbought and oversold. So at the moment, we are way oversold at the moment on the monthly chart. Okay, so what we're going to be keeping an eye on over here is this right here is our previous high, okay, at 20k. We obviously smashed through that. Had a slight little bit of resistance there, but not much. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw some Fibonacci retracements on the monthly chart. So Fibonacci retracement, we're going to go from our low. As you can see here, we're moving up. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so I can, hopefully the screen's a bit bigger. Fibonacci retracement from our low, okay. As you can see, as we're drawing this Fibonacci, we haven't even had any retraces on the monthly. At that point there, which is in 1st of August, we didn't even get a pullback to the 38.2% fib. Which generally, if you get a pullback to the 38.2% fib, that's still massively bullish, okay? So we haven't even hit that. So we're going to draw this all the way to our top because we haven't got a pullback on the way, so we haven't even hit a 50, haven't even hit a 38, a 50, or a 61.8, which is the most commonly used, okay? So we're going to draw that. So that's our monthly chart, right? So from a monthly perspective, you would only be worrying about this price action if this ended up closing, even if it was the way it was, and then we got a bearish engulfing, which means a big red candle, which is bigger than this blue candle, and then that means we're going to get some pressure to the downside, okay? So from a monthly, we're extremely bullish, okay? So we're going to go down to the weekly chart. So as you can see, straight away on the weekly chart, our RSI is still indicating that we're massively overbought, okay? And as you can see, this is where we've drawn our fibs from. So we'll just adjust these slightly so they're dead on. So we've basically gone from 4k pretty much to 42k without any much of a pullback at all. This one in here is very small pullback considering it went to 12, back to 10, 12 point something back to 10. It's fuck all pullback, a 20% pullback again. So this move here, I'm just going to highlight what I'm talking about. This move here is about the same as this move here, in percentage terms, okay? So don't get freaked out because prices moved up so much. In a percentage term, when you're looking at just the dollar value alone, you're going to think it's pulling back huge, but in percentage terms, it's a similar percentage. It's only 20%. It's only very small compared to the overall market, okay? Especially compared to the overall market move that we've had up from here. So, 4K to 40K, that's 10x, 1,000%. And we're getting a 20% pullback, you know what I mean? So don't be too stressed out. So that's on the weekly. So on the weekly chart, we're still bullish at the moment. If this red candle here, I'm going to delete these. Okay, if this red candle here ends up closing down below this blue candle, which is just here. Okay, if this one closes below this blue candle, and let's say the red one comes all the way down to about, right about here, for example, that then is called a bearish engulfing. What that means is selling pressure has been way more than buying pressure, and we've closed lower than where we've closed before. What that indicates is selling pressure, and we're going to probably continue for a bit of a pullback, at least probably to around the 28K level. I'll show you why the 28K sort of level as we delve down to the daily chart. Okay, so we're going down our time frames, so daily. So don't stress out, guys. You see a lot of people in these groups and shit posting about like 15-minute charts and like 5-minute charts and stuff. In a massive bullish market like this, like it's pretty much pointless. Anyone shorting the market right here at the moment, they can easily get taken out and liquidated. Because there's no confirmation there that we're going to head to any sort of support level at the moment. So from a daily perspective, if we look, our RSI is now coming back into not being overbought range, okay, which is kind of a good sign. You see these lines, they go up and down, up and down. These go with the chart. So this just here, for example, this is overbought. The price is up. We come back down after a sell-off. It's oversold, overbought, oversold, overbought. So what we're looking at the moment is a much needed pullback. The market just can't keep flying up and up and up and never retrace, even though it has done very well at the moment in the last few months. Has to have a retrace at some point in time. So what we're then seeing is another good thing to have on your charts, even if you're an advanced trader, is the 50 and 200 EMAs. And what these are used by is many professional traders all around the world, institutional traders as well. So a big bullish sign here is what's called a golden cross, which means the 50 EMA is crossing the 200 EMA, and this happened back in mid-May. Okay, so it's not necessarily just a buy signal straight away or a sell signal straight away, because you can see during the choppy market, during mid to late 2019, it happened a couple of times. It came below, then came back up, came below. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's it's a buy or sell signal straight away, but it is a very strong signal once you add it in with other trading factors. So what we're looking at there is obviously this is just one factor in the bullish market. So we've got a golden cross, which means the 50 EMA is above the 200 crossing above the 200 EMA, and you can see the 50 EMA indicator is quite a strong indicator for bounce levels and things like that, especially on a daily chart, 4-hourly chart, hourly chart, those sorts of things. You see a lot of 50 EMA bounces in a nice stable market. Now, as you can see here, we haven't even touched the 50 EMA since the beginning of October. So this is an extremely accelerating market, which has basically just continued to take off. So initial thoughts, if we zoom back a little bit more, zoom in a little bit more. If we go to the 4-hourly now, you'll kind of see that the 4-hourly, we've had a bit of a pullback here. This candle here, this little red one here. So there was a small bit of resistance there at 28k. Okay, and then we've broken above that. We've pulled back. We've retested the 28k level, and then we've continued up to 42k. So this is our level of support and resistance at the moment that we would be looking at. If we're going to get a pullback, we'd be looking at things to happen around there, which coincides with our 38.2 fib and potentially the 50 EMA. So this is on a daily chart, for example. So we'll just sort of highlight this area here, and we can zoom into the 4 hourly now. If we go down to the 4 hourly, this is the best way to set up your trades, guys. Always go from highest time frame to lowest time frame. Okay. So as you can see, the 50 EMA on the 4 hourly has been a really good bounce tool. You can get many trades off the 50 EMA and other supporting factors as well. See how many times it bounces off and around the 50 EMA. It's really, really good. Okay. Now, what I was saying just before about the 28 sort of K level is, if we zoom in a bit further, okay, so you can see here, we've got a small touch here, a little circle, small touch there, a small touch there, got a couple of touches around here and this 30k level as well. So we're kind of looking towards our support resistance zone is going to be around this 28 to 30k. If we get a pullback, it's going to be, something may happen around here. If we just blast straight back through it, we're probably heading back down to 20k, which was the previous high, and we'll see if that acts as support at 20k. But in the meantime, on the short term, we'll look to see kind of what happens around this level. Now, what because we've been so bullish, things aren't really looking like they're going to stop being super bullish at the moment. You have to also understand, guys, that people are obviously taking profits at this level. We're now over 2 times the previous all-time high. So every single person who had Bitcoin, whether they bought, late 2017, early 2018 at like 20k, if they bought the top last time and they've held on this long, this time, they're in at least 2 times profit, which is huge. Okay, you're getting, traditional investors, which are like index funds and stock markets and things like that. Anyone playing like high value stocks and trading and that sort of stuff, a lot of professional traders are happy to get 10, 20, 30, 40% per year on their gains. So even if those Bitcoin guys bought the absolute top and they didn't sell, they're making 100% gain. Okay, they're doubling their money in a couple of years. Okay, so that's like minimum 50% per year. No worries. So that is 33 to 50%, depending on when they bought and all that sort of stuff. But if they bought lower than 20k, obviously they're making way more profit. So, this sort of level to get a 2x, and then from an all-time high, and then not get a pullback until then is pretty amazing. Like, that's pretty crazy. So that's what we're looking at for our short-term perspective on Bitcoin. From here, if we zoom out a little bit more again, if we go back to the daily, for example, so if this daily, for example, starts to close like this, like if this daily just continues down and closes like a massive red candle, we're going to get some more push to the downside. Okay. We'll see what happens around this 30 to 28k level. That's like our most, probably exposed or best area for support and resistance. So we'll see what happens around that area, see what happens with the 50 EMA, see if we get a bounce off the 38.2. If we bounce from this level and continue up, we'll most likely make a new all-time high again. If not, we'll at least retest this all-time high before we drop back down again. So hopefully we can start to get some consolidation, so we can start getting some really good altcoin trading going on. Because at the moment, when BTC is cranking up, altcoins are dropping. Okay, so not jumping into many altcoin trades at the moment. There have been a few which have been really good, but we're not in full alt season just yet because of the fact that BTC is so extremely bullish. Okay, so that's just a quick, very quick way to do a very basic chart, guys. If we zoom out again, back to the weekly, okay, if we continue to break this level, if we like break this level and then retest this level, like if we do something like this, for example, if we do something like this, and then if we retest sort of that 28, 30K level, if we come lower, we're probably looking at, you know, that 20K sort of level, which coincides with this previous high. If I draw a horizontal line there, bang on 20, round psychological number, get as close as I can, bang. So you'll see that we've touched there. That's our previous high. Come down, smash through it. We did get a small amount of like pullback and resistance and stuff at that level, as you can see, which was definitely to be expected. In the very, even though it was a very small amount of pullback, but it's definitely to be expected because at that point in time, you know, that's our previous high. People are going to be taking profits there. At that sort of point in time, though, that's when all the institutional money was starting to go freaking spastic, and people were popping up out of everywhere. That Grayscale Investments place and that other guy, that Michael Sayer, or however you say his name, from MicroStrategy, you know, they're pushing and they're buying a shitload of Bitcoin. So because they've been buying so much stuff, you know, we're going to pump higher. If they weren't at this point in time, you would likely see consolidation from here and some pullback from 20K level if we just had sort of most of the retail investors and stuff still in the space. But you know, because they've kind of come in and they've just started hogging up all the Bitcoin, which is pretty cool. It's definitely pushed onto massive highs now. So, you know, people are messaging me freaking out what we're going to do. Keep in mind, guys, when you zoom out and you look at it from a long-term perspective, like, you know, you've got to expect some sort of drop at some point in the market, right? So, you know, that this chart is ridiculous. Like, this is crazy. This is, you know, 2017, bang, all over again. Same thing happened back then. Went from like $1,300 up to 20K. You know what I mean? Like, we got some pullbacks at around 3K and then bang, took off again. Just went spastic. So yeah, it's basically the same thing's happening, and same thing's probably going to happen in the future once this once this bullish market finishes and we go into a bearish market. Expect a large drop in price like we had back in 2017, 2018. Maybe not so much as back then, because you know, once all the panic selling sets in, you know, retail people start panicking hardcore. So we'll definitely get a pullback at some point during the next bearish market cycle. It'll be interesting to see where we actually pull back to, whether we only pull back to around the 20K level, or whether or not we end up doing like an 80-90% drop like we have multiple other times. So if we take 42, for example, 42,000, and we take, let's take 80% to be nice, 8.4K would be our bottom. So we'd kind of be looking to buy at 10K and under, which would be good buy-in. So 10K and under would be a good buy-in if we if this is our new all-time high and we tank out the ass from here, you know, sub 10K, I'm going to be buying Bitcoin again, basically. So it's a very interesting market, very cool market to be in. Okay, that's kind of Bitcoin. Ethereum is pretty much in the same boat, except we haven't broken new all-time highs yet. So we're kind of getting close to this is a very old chart. I took all the stuff out of it, except for this was the previous buy zone that I had in place from last market. So between 100 and 200 was a good buy opportunity, definitely a good buy opportunity. So you can see here we're not quite smashing through our all-time high at the moment. So what we've got here is our horizontal resistance is basically at 1400. You know, we need to see what happens around here. So again, on Ethereum, technically we got a bit of a pullback there to the 38.2. So I'm gonna draw this fib from here up to here. Okay, and we'll see what happens around this sort of level here. You can see previous support and resistance is around 800. So it's around here. You see we've got multiple touches there on the weekly side. So we've got an initial test failure, but then we broke through it. We came back, we had a massive pin bar, so we had a retest of support, and then we came back up, we failed, broke through that, we came low, we went back up to retest 800 again, right, and then fell down from there. So 800 is a very strong you know, support level at this point in time. That's where I'd be looking to see if Ethereum comes down. If we zoom into daily chart, for example, so you can see here massively bearish just on the daily as a short-term thing, but you can see same thing. We've been slowly moving up, and then we've rocketed off. Okay, so this chart is still extremely bullish. You can see here the RSI. Not sure if you can see that because my camera should be able to. Yeah, should be able to. RSI is obviously massively oversold. We're going to get small pullbacks along the way. So if we zoom back to end of 2017, start of 2018, you can see kind of a lot of bounces off this level here, but they're all wicks and they're all sort of smashing straight through. So 1,000, you know, it's not the strongest support and resistance because we haven't really done a lot of it on the previous. 800 is definitely a strong level. So it would be interesting to see what happens from here, whether or not we pull back to, you know, this is the 1,000 to 800 level, which kind of coincides with 38.2 fib, 50 fib. So I'd probably be looking at what's going to happen around this 50 fib and the 800 level. 50 EMA on the daily is coming up as well. See if we get a bounce off the 50 EMA, the 50 fib retracement, and the 800 level. That would be an amazing long opportunity there. And we'll scroll down to 4 hourly chart. So you can see from the peak that we had, we've had a couple. We've had a bearish engulfing to start off the move. Bang. We've had a slight retest up, come back down. So we've been pushing down. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens down at around this level. If it bounced off 1,000, you know, I probably won't be taking a trade off 1,000. Just see what happens within the market from there. So that's probably the easiest way, guys, to do a quick chart on any given chart. You know, in terms of always go from top down, because the higher the time frame, the more important. Okay, so from a monthly perspective, you can see we're still, you know, this is technically accelerated during this month. Of course, it hasn't closed yet, but it's been accelerating. So weekly, last couple of weeks have been massively bullish. So, you know, so it happens. But always start from top down, go down. You know, trade with the trend, guys. Looking for pullbacks and then long opportunities at the moment. I'm not trying to short this market at all. It's massively bullish. If I was trying to short this, it would go way against my trading strategy, because it's just it's like it'd be like buying on the way down when it's tanking out the arse. So it's like the opposite of catching a falling knife. So trade with the trend. I hope that answers any questions, guys. Sid, would you recommend cashing out of BTC to Tether? It purely depends on your risk and levels of where you got in at, what sort of profitability you want to make, all those sorts of things. It's definitely not a bad idea to be tethering some of your portfolio. You know, for me, I've done that. I did that last market and it worked out well. You know, so it purely depends on first of all what price you got in, first of all what you're targeting. So I always tell people before you even start buying or trading or whatever, try and set an exit level that you're happy with. So when it gets to that point, you can take some of your stake out of the market and you don't feel bad. Okay, because the worst thing you can do is get greedy. You know, fear of missing out, you hold on to that until whenever it may all come crashing back down to nothing. So if you can take some profit along the way and leave some on the table, that's always a good strategy. I wouldn't completely exit the position and I wouldn't completely stay in the position, put it that way. So how much you take out or how much you want to let ride or whatever, that's up to you. There's no set percentage for your portfolio or anything like that. It purely depends on your own risk management strategies. But yes, I would be taking at least something off depending on if you got in. I mean, if you got in at like 4K when the Bitcoin was at the bottom, you can't not be happy with a 10x gain, right? Or 8x gain or 9x gain, wherever we're sitting at the moment. I would definitely be taking some profits for the future there as well. So, guys, I hope that sort of was a little bit informative. I'm not sure how many people on my Facebook do much trading or don't do much trading or not even interested at all. So just thought I'd jump on for a quick livey, give a quick update, and then yeah. So I hope you guys have a good week. I'm off to do my altcoin watch list check in our Telegram group at the moment. So if you want to join that, guys, send me a PM or leave a message, and I'll send you a message and hit you up. Let me know. Take it easy, guys. Good night for here, and I'll catch you guys next time. See you later.